The whole experiment was that the whole idea of um, the mutual sense of of ethics being moral, the morality among people where they were following following orders, were they not moral to kill so many people? Because once you are just following orders from a leader, from an authority whom you cannot challenge, and that was the reason that this is how the human beings are structured. So this is another experiment which one can read, of course. Then there is practice example of how the new psychology or how the new finance system is, though. So they say that economics is about demand. Increase in demand should reduce uh, the, as the demand increases, the price should reduce because people should be sensitive to with increasing price, the demand should reduce because people should be sensitive to increase in price, and with decreasing as the demand so as the price reduces, the demand uh, this is how uh, the demand works. Then if the prices are increasing, the demand should reduce. But in the case of stock markets, this is what does not happen. What happens is as the stock keeps going up, the demand keeps increasing, and which is again, he says, is a different model of finance than what economics proposes. Because in stock markets, higher the growth, higher the demand. As price increases, the demand increases, and which is what he calls as the financial economical dichotomy. This is a model he explains in the Socionomics book, which are also very interesting books, which I would suggest you to read. Then of course, social behavior, according to Orpheus, can and is quantifiable, which is what is our theory of performance cycles, where we can also quantify social mood, where we can say that there are today football indices and baseball clubs, and these are tradable instruments, and there can be a timing done between different social moods to quantify it. Behavioral errors, these are the ideas which I've already broadly talked about. These are some of the thoughts which are that markets or society or moods also are very paired. There is a high return paired with low returns, efficiency with inefficiency, momentum with change of trend, and positive surprises with negative surprises. So though behavioral finance does not pair the moods, but moods are actually also very paired. There is a For every positive mood, there is a negative mood, which is a very detailed work done by Proctor in terms of pairing of moods. And and Schiller's model also talk about bubbles and fluctuations, but the gap in his work is that he doesn't really talk about cycles. He talks about that the bubbles come again and again, but he doesn't say that it's a cyclical process, and there is a certain periodicity in the recurring bubbles. And this is again a gap which is not addressing the idea of patterns or time cycles, or it doesn't address the idea of Herbert Simon, which says that societies are actually very ordered. The social mood is very ordered. So Schiller doesn't talk about that order, which was talked about in 1950 by Herbert Simon. So there are some ideas about gaps. There are of course excitement cycles, which was also written about, and Schiller does not speak about those excitement cycles. And Herbert Simon also tries to explain power law behavior, a certain exponential order in nature, in society, in social mood, which also is not discussed in all the behavioral finance. Behavioral finance doesn't discuss about any pattern. Behavioral finance doesn't talk about cyclicality. Behavioral finance doesn't talk about exponentiality. Behavioral finance doesn't talk about father of microeconomics, Wilfredo Pareto, in terms of the 80-20 rule. And though Schiller's work talks about 30-year cycle, 10-year cycle, but it does not talk about periodicity being an important structure in psychology. So some rules of investment psychology: one should not try to herd. Herding is a very much nature of human beings. And if you have to be a good investor, the first thing you have to learn is not to herd. Be individualistic in your approach. This is another very interesting book, very good book. I would strongly recommend you to read it. And it talks about various cases, various ideas. These are some of the ideas we have illustrated here. Don't fall in love with your forecast. Don't be in, don't get in pride of how your great profits are, because the moment you say, "Oh, I made Patru Sutala Suta profit in so much little time, I'm a genius," that is the time that you are under a trap and you are not being modest and you are going to suffer. So don't get into a pride thing. Take gains as you take losses. Don't follow, don't fall in love with your gains, and don't get too sentimental about your losses, and don't take pride in great profit, because ultimately, or don't take pride in a call, in a view, because like markets get on. Mukul, how can markets go down? Mukul keeps waiting for a market, and where is the bear market? The moment the pride comes into play, how can it go down? The moment pride comes into play, you saw what happened. Be an independent thinker. It's very important. Be objective. It's very important, because if you are not going to judge your judge your money manager, judge your advisor, judge yourself. Be objective about, I'm getting very scared today. I should not be that scared. I should not be that scared. I'm feeling very too much excited. I should not be too much excited. You know. So I should. Why am I panicking? Why am I not calm? I should be calm. So question your own moods. And there is no holy grail. Even if behavioral finance also says this, that there is no holy grail, and it also says that we are not a subject that can be used to immediately start forecasting and making money. We do not. Behavioral finance, even Schiller, though he has made such big forecasts, but he says that forecasting is very tough, and it's a kind of it's an interesting subject. You see, we can never understand markets, and behavioral finance at least brings out the aspect of psychology very well. So it makes its impact. And even if behavioral finance teaches us to be not overconfident, and teaches us to be patient, and to be patient, and it teaches us to be modest, and it teaches us not to get scared of losses, or not to not do biases. I think it does its job. So this is all that I have. In case you have any queries, I can address them. Okay, so we can also go through the observations that were made here while I was making the presentation, mm, which says that self-judging is easy. It always results in an excellent picture. The rest of the world is bad. Yes, self-judging. Actually, self-judging is not that easy. Judging the world is very easy. So self-judging is very hard. So one should be able to self-judge oneself. We can always blame the market watchdog, and we can always blame the politicians, and we can always blame everybody but else. The moment we start blaming ourselves for the situation we are in, we make a better country, we make a better stock market, we make a better world. The moment we do this, but that is the harder job. And of course, what else? Um, there are friend here who says that um, Florin, sorry, but you're too optimistic. No, he's okay. There is some. We are again judging our friends harder than ourselves. We should judge ourselves also. So it's always good to self judge. Then we are saying that people tend to consider they are right, but only mm, uh, but only other bad people or bad luck being. Well, yes, people judge other people harder. Usually they don't recognize how stupid they were. Yes, yeah, it's very tough to say I'm stupid. You see, it's a very tough thing to say I was stupid. And if you consider you cannot be confident in anything. No, I don't think that calling yourself stupid is makes you lose your confidence, because some of the big traders make a make a wall of mistakes. They write the mistakes that they did. Accepting a mistake is like saying I was stupid, you know. So and if you accept it, the fault, maybe you have a higher chance to learn from that mistake and not do it again. And then Okay, so that's all. So thanks a lot again for your time, and I hope you had good fun in the last four sessions that we conducted. We consistently trying to add more value, more inputs to the slides, and you can we will try to make it more rich in terms of content and keep you updated. Okay, thank you very much.